I wanted to explain what signs we're seeing in the market right now that are giving some indications of what 2026 is going to look like for the housing market. But first, if I had to sum up this year and the recent past years that we've had, it would be with a few words like high interest rates and buyer hesitation. That has been the name of the game for a while now, and we're seeing some welcome signs of relief. What are we seeing exactly? Mortgage interest rates are changing. Right now, rates are trending downwards. Of course, rates always go up and then they go down and they kind of like bump along the path here for a while. But overall, we have been seeing in the recent weeks the lowest mortgage rates in a while. That means better affordability for buyers. The next thing we're seeing is the lock-in effect is easing a bit. What do I mean by that? A little while back when we had crazy, insanely low interest rates, 3%, 2 point whatever percent, people would get those interest rates and they just would hold on tightly to them and they would not let those things go. They weren't leaving that interest rate for anything. We call that the lock-in effect because sellers weren't wanting to sell. Now time has passed and we're finally seeing some relief on the interest rates. It's true, they're nowhere near what those rates were. But life circumstances have happened, people's lives have changed, things like that have happened. And so it's a situation where now sometimes those life circumstances are more of the driving force of what's behind people moving. So we're seeing the lock-in effect ease and sellers thinking more about going on the market. And lastly, we're seeing that buyers are going to be entering the marketplace now. How do we track that exactly? How do we track that that's increasing? Well, the Mortgage Bankers Association, they track mortgage applications, and they're showing by their data that we are up year over year in buyer loan applications. So that means there's more buyers that are starting to dip their toe in the water and think about an upcoming move. This is not a flood of activity. This is not some trigger that we're seeing that's going to call back into play the recent craziness of the housing market, but it's more like a shift, and it's a quiet shift and some momentum is starting to build. But we are seeing some of those early signs and I wanted to bring it to you. It looks like there's some positive improvements in 2026 for the real estate industry.